So hi everyone, this is Aditya sir, and today we'll be talking about some of the concepts which is related to space dynamics. Okay, which has to deal with a satellite projection, or when we are sending a robot to a Mars mission. We have seen it. So some of the fundamentals of this has to deal with the concepts of gravitation or the gravitational field, and how come this theory came into the picture that we are trying to talk about. So first let's try to understand what is Newton's law of gravitation. So what is this Newton's law of gravitation? Sir Isaac Newton, for the first time, when he was sitting under the apple tree, he came up with this idea. When an apple fell on the surface of earth, he actually thought that everything is getting attracted towards the earth's surface. That means everything on the surface of earth, even the planets, actually they attract each other. That is what his idea, he came up with this idea. So Newton's law of gravitation comes from obviously Sir Isaac Newton, which gives actually the formula to calculate this force of attraction. So if we know the mass of two objects, let's say moon is first planet, one object, and this second object is actually earth. So we know that moon and earth, they are always attracting each other. Okay, so what is the force, with how much force the moon and earth is attracting each other, that we don't know. So we came up with this. So he came up with this particular formula, which gives g m1 into m2 divided by distance square. So if r is the distance between the two objects, it could be two pen, it could be two pencil, it could be anything, it could be a mobile phone, or maybe a laptop, or a football. So between any two object, the force, with how much force is these two objects are attracting each other, it can be calculated from this particular formula, which is very interesting and important. So he came up with this formula where g, this particular g, is called universal constant of gravitation. So everywhere in this universe, the value of g actually remains constant. And how he calculated this formula, that is also interesting, but we will not talk it here. So if g is the acceleration due to gravity, sorry, universal constant of gravitation, the value of universal constant of gravitation is 6.67 into 10 to power minus 11 Newton meter square. And very sorry for this, it should be kg square. Okay, from this we can actually calculate what is the dimensional formula of g, and everything which is related to the conceptual understanding. So yes, this is Newton's law of gravitation, and for the first time Sir Isaac Newton actually told that, or informed that, every object on the surface of earth, every object attracts every other object with this force of gravitation. Okay, we till now we know that we have before that we know only things that everything is actually falling on earth's surface. No one gave that view or that idea which came to the Sir Isaac Newton. Okay, then so this is the formula which changed the future course of everything else. Then coming back to next thing, what is gravitational field? One of the most interesting thing that comes into the picture when we try to move away from the surface of earth. So when we move from the center of earth, for example, let's say when we start, so the radius of the earth is r, which is approximately, I think, 34 or maybe 36, yeah, let it be 34 kilometers. Okay, so 34 kilometers from the center of earth. Okay, and as we move from the from the center of earth, the acceleration due to gravity, which we actually calculate like in the form of m into g, which is also weight acting on any object which is on the or close to the surface of earth. So here g is called acceleration due to gravity. The value of g actually keeps on changing from the center of the earth to the edge of the gravitational field. So what is this gravitational field? Field is basically a region surrounding an object. So like I told you that when we move away from the surface of earth, as you can see here, as we move away from the surface of earth, the value of G, which you can see here, it keeps on changing. So from the depth to the surface, it increases linearly, straight line, and as we move away from the surface of earth up to a certain distance, it keeps on decreasing. Okay, it keeps on decreasing and it becomes asymptotically, it reaches to zero, a very close to zero value. So this is the edge where the gravitational acceleration due to gravity or gravitational force becomes more or less zero. So anything if we put outside the this particular field, it will not be attracted by the earth surface, but if we place it on the boundary or edge of this gravitational field or inside it, it will get attracted towards the earth surface, towards the center of the earth by this value of G. And you can see that the value of G everywhere actually it keeps changing. So on the surface of earth, the value of G is we it is averaged out to be as 9.81 meter per second square. So this is in a three-dimensional view. You can draw this picture somewhat like this. So there is a region which is covering this entire earth surface. Okay, this 3D part is known as actually gravitational field. So this will be called as gravitational field, within which the gravitational force of the earth actually attracts or it acts on the object. So the whole idea of gravitational field and force, we already know, if anything is attracted towards the surface of earth, this force can be calculated by this formula, which is universal constant of gravitation, mass of the first object, mass of the second object, and the distance between them, which is given by r. Okay, and the G is called universal constant of gravitation, most interestingly. Then coming to how this whole things actually came into the picture. Now before that, prior to all the telescopes and all the inventions that we have done, people used to believe that the earth is in the center. First of all, they used to believe that the earth is actually a flat surface. Okay, then somehow Vasco da Gama actually came into the picture. He took a voyage around the earth's surface, and then he said that no, the earth is circular because I started from some point and I ended up at the some point, at the same point. So earth is basically spherical, or maybe a spherical in shape. Okay, similarly we have certain theories about the rotation of earth and sun. Before when we actually started, we are not going to Vedas because they already knew everything. It is many things are there in the Vedas. People knew even before discovery. It is written that we were aware of all these things. But when we started scientific writing, when we started writing in English or bringing it into books, at that time we people used to believe that the earth is in the center and the sun revolves around the earth in a circular orbit. Okay, so this is actually this place where the earth is rotating, this is actually circular. So this is called an orbit. And the because the earth is geo means earth, because earth is in the center and the sun revolves around the earth, that's why this theory was called a geocentric theory. The first theory that was presented was geocentric theory. The earth is in the center and the sun is revolving around the sun is revolving around the earth. So this is called heliocentric theory. Then later, when we discovered many things, people found out, for example, first person who was actually hanged for this discovery was Copernicus. Okay, yeah, Copernicus, actually he was hanged by the church for the discovery of this particular thing. Actually the truth that the sun is in the center and the earth revolves around the sun. So because the sun is in the center, and in Greek language this is called Helios, the sun is actually known as Helios or helium, you can say. So there, because the sun is in the center and the earth revolves around the sun, this theory is known as heliocentric theory. So the solar system, in the before we knew about solar system, these are the two theories, very peculiar, and it has been used, people trying to understand how the planet earth and sun, they revolve each other, what happens to the seasonal variations, how does these seasonal variations comes. So people, they were trying to understand science. Okay, they came up with they were stuck with two theories. One is known as heliocentric theory and geocentric theory. Previously it was found that people believe that earth is in the center and the sun rotates around the earth, and later it was found out that actually the sun is still, it is in the center and all the planets revolve around the sun. So heliocentric theory. Okay, so but people used to believe that everything is happening in a circular pattern. Okay, before the apprentice, or you can say the assistant of Tony Bracco, a scientist named Tony Bracco. Tony Bracco was a stargazer, or you can say planetary observer. With a telescope, he used to keep all the details recorded in a notebook. But then his assistant, whose name was Kepler, Johannes Kepler, he went through all his notebooks and he came up with certain formula which showed that actually the planets revolve around the sun in an elliptical orbit with sun at one of its foci. So this is the foci. Actually the ellipse has two foci, so point 1 and point 2. The sun could be at either of the place, so either of the one foci sun will be there, and all the planets actually revolve around the sun in an elliptical orbit. So this was for the first time which actually changed the way people used to look at the planetary motion or motion of celestial objects. This is very very important when we go for interplanetary transportation. We should be very aware of what is this. So there are two things which is called apogee, and second thing is called perigee, that we'll discuss in coming classes, and other Kepler's laws of motion.